throughout all of it, we've always gone, I heard this today, or my friend sent me this as a funny thing that Bryn might say, or we talk all the time, and we always have, but rarely about the show. And then it was only kind of last summer actually that it was like, look, I think if we're gonna do this, it was 10 years between the end of the series and that special, and then this will be 5 years from the last special to this, and that felt like probably the right time to wrap it up. One last ride into the sunset.
Virgin Radio.
How much do we talk about what you were up to yesterday?
We can talk about whatever you want.
Can we actually?
Yeah,
All right, great. Okay, so you met up with Ruth. You called Ruth. You arrive back in the UK. You call Ruth. You start writing a new Gavin and Stacey, but you don't tell the BBC. Hilarious.
But I mean, that's not with any...
Nobody's great, though.
Well, because we have to find out if it's any good first. So we don't know if it's any good. So
I know, but that's like Santa knowing what you want before you do, and also guaranteeing to your mum and dad that you're going to get it, and you haven't even dreamt it up yet.
I suppose, yeah. But I think our main... We've done that every time. I mean, we wrote a spec script. We've always written it and given it and gone, what do you think of this? As opposed to saying, oh, we've got an idea about X or Y. And so, because look, whenever you write anything, particularly a show that comes with a bit of, at this point where that show comes with a bit of pressure, the best thing you can do is go, well, no, let's just get back to who they are. What are they doing? What are the characters? And do we have a story to tell? And is it worth it? Yeah. Because the last thing you want to do, so many shows over the years have perhaps delivered a final episode which is considered underwhelming, even when I don't think they're underwhelming. You know what I mean? So we really treat them with a lot of care, those characters, and really what we do is, I think what happens is Ruth and I get in a room and we just sort of have to open some kind of portal, and then those characters will tell us what's happening, So we've been spending a lot of time together recently because she's in Sister Act in the West End. Yes. And I'm in this play. So we finished a script a while back and it was too long and needed quite a bit of... The rewrites are harder than writing. Rewriting is really difficult. Yeah. Writing is really fun. Yeah. Because you can just go, anything can happen. But when you rewrite stuff, you're dealing with a lot of logistics. And, well, look, we might not be able to shoot that, or this needs to be in this location. Is there any way this can change? And frankly, it's too long. Yeah. So really what we have been doing the last few weeks really is just trying to make it as economical as possible, and we finished it yesterday.
Here's the thing. So you finished it yesterday because I asked you, would you come on the show? Because our last show before the summer, you're the perfect guest. I love you to death. And you said, well, I really want to come on the show, but Ruth and I, we're in rewrites. Yeah. And if we can get them done by Friday, we weren't an incentive, were we, by any chance?
Always. If I, without wanting to, I don't know, sound like an idiot, if I could, I find myself constantly over the last sort of, I don't know, since the first time I ever met you, actually. I mean, I find myself constantly going, I don't know if you feel like this, all the time, almost every day I find myself thinking, God, I don't know what I've done to deserve these memories and these people and everything. Like, Ruth and I is like a friendship that started, like, we first opened a laptop 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we were like, I wonder if these characters could tell a story. And then 20 years later, to be just writing the words, the end, and that's it, forever and ever. 20 years, a 20-year friendship that has spanned just so much stuff. Like, I don't know, and going to see her then, and she's so brilliant in the musical that she's in. She's just so brilliant in it. And then, so being there, and any time you get all your family together in a room, that's all really, you realise that's all it's actually about ever, is trying to trap the people that you love in a room. And then just, I don't know, we just sat last night and we were like, that's it now. We've finished writing. We'll never write anything that Pam says again. We'll never write interior Gwen's house. We'll never come up with a interesting thing that Bryn has done. And we just looked at each other and we were just like, how isn't that amazing to even have the luxury of deciding to end it, to even have the luxury and to be in a position where people still care. It's inconceivable to us, all of it. So it's, I don't know, I just feel very emotional by all of it, everything.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Please tell me that when you wrote the end, it was in uppercase and you did one letter each.
No, we didn't. No.
That would have been so
well,
gorgeous.
because we'd already written the end in another script, it already had the end.
Right.
And so
who types when you're writing?
Ruth.
Right.
So Ruth types and I pace around. In any writing partnership.
How many steps per session?
Well, a lot of our writing is us basically. Well, it always starts with us just having a chinwag, and sometimes that becomes therapy for either or both of us at the same time. And then it's a lot of just. So where Ruth's amazing is she's like. Do you remember the Tom Cruise movie Minority Report?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm where we work. Where we meet in the middle is our relationship goes like this. I do a lot of this. I go, oh, what if? Hang on. Well, wait. What it like? And I do a lot of that, and I sort of throw these things out, and Ruth goes, no,
yeah,
terrible.
So she's swiping in
and
the
she
air.
goes, yeah. Yes, that. And she'll go, let's drill in on that. And then the two of us will go, what if they say this? What if they? And then we'll just sit, and then you just start acting it out, and then then we sort of form it into a script, really. But that's So last night, when it was finished yesterday afternoon, we'd already written the end, and so she just added in bold, forever and ever.
Oh, man. Vassos, we were going to leave Gavin and Stacey where it was, but Vassos has a great question.
So the last Gavin and Stacey, the last special ended on a cliffhanger, a Will You Marry Me, and then credits roll. And that would have been a great place to end forever in a sort of Italian job way. But there was always the option of this final. When you wrote Will You Marry Me and then credits roll, did you know that if you ever picked up again, which way it would go? I'm not asking which way it does go, obviously.
Yeah, no, we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything at all. Like we never thought, I wonder what he says. I don't think we ever had that conversation. I do remember saying to Ruth, we were in America, which was where I lived at the time, and Ruth, and I remember saying to Ruth, I feel like if we end it like this, we might have to reveal it in some way down the line.
So the door wasn't open, but it may have been ajar.
Yeah, and Ruth was like, well, let's burn that bridge when we get to it. And so we always knew that maybe it would be unsatisfying somehow to leave it there, but we never, in truth, we didn't. We'd had a couple of chats because throughout all of it, we've always gone, I heard this today, or my friend sent me this as a funny thing that Bryn might say, or we talk all the time, and we always have, but rarely about the show. And then it was only kind of last summer actually that it was like, look, I think if we're gonna do this, it was 10 years between the end of the series and that special, and then this will be 5 years from the last special to this, and that felt like probably the right time to wrap it up. One last ride into the sunset.
So you got into the room the first time where you do the pacing and Ruth does the typing, and the first thing you had to decide was what Smithy says.
Well, no, it was Bryn's funeral was the first thing we needed to write, that was the thing. See, Chris doesn't know who Bryn is, but
I know who Bryn is because
I'm joking. There isn't. Well, there might be. I don't know.
Virgin Radio.